Ski Boy with your first alert storm team forecast.
Good morning, Gulf Coast. Hurricane Zeta is in the central Gulf of Mexico. It's a Category 1 storm with winds of 85 miles per hour, and it's moving quickly to the north-northwest at 17 miles per hour. It's going to continue moving north before eventually turning more to the northeast. Now the National Hurricane Center is thinking that this will become a Category 2 hurricane before making its final approach to southeast Louisiana by this evening. It will continue to move to the northeast. It'll weaken once it starts to move over land, but there's still a very good chance it could either be a Category 1 hurricane or even a strong tropical storm as it starts to move through the northwestern half of our area. But even though you see the cone doesn't include all of our area, we're going to be on the east side and the south side. So we are going to be on the rougher side of the storm, and the main impacts that we're going to see will be from this evening into the early stages of the overnight. The good news, if there is any good news with Zeta, is that it is going to be moving steadily. By Thursday afternoon, it'll be in Virginia, and by Friday morning, it's going to be out in the open waters of the Atlantic. So this is not going to be a storm that lingers, but it could do some damage in our neighborhood as it moves through. Here's a forecast projection, and then we're starting to get it to the point where we can start to use some of the higher resolution forecast models. So again, it's going to continue moving its way to the north, and as we go through today, we're going to see our moisture increasing, so our chance of rain will only be increasing. But by 1 o'clock this afternoon, we're mainly just going to be looking at showers, maybe a few thunderstorms. But as we go from the early afternoon into the middle afternoon, we're going to start to see some of those stronger rain bands move into our neighborhood as we get Zeta closer to a landfall. This particular forecast model is showing a landfall between 4 and 5 o'clock. A landfall could happen anytime between 4 and 7 o'clock, and that window is still subject to change just how quickly Zeta is going to move. But by 5 o'clock, you can start to see that some of the rougher weather is going to start to move into our area, and really by 8 o'clock, that's when you're going to need to be hunkered down, especially in the western half of our area where we could see those stronger rain bands. That wind will be out of the south. That's when we're going to start to see our highest surge, and that's also when we're going to start to see our highest winds as well. From the evening into the early stages of the overnight, you'll see that Zeta will continue to move maybe in the northwestern half of our area, maybe just to the north of us, but that still puts us with our winds out of the south, and we could still see those rain bands. But by 5 o'clock tomorrow morning, Zeta will start to move away, and a cold front will start to work its way through, and by midday tomorrow, the weather might honestly be fantastic. Again, we just have to get through Zeta. The majority of the News 5 area is included in a tropical storm warning. Tropical storm conditions are expected, and in the central and western half of our area, it could be strong tropical storm conditions. In Jackson County, Mississippi, it's a hurricane warning. That means hurricane conditions are expected. The surge numbers have changed as the strength and the projected strength of Zeta has changed. Now in Jackson County to Dauphin Island, there's going to be the potential for surge 6 to 9 feet. That is significant. You need to be prepared for high storm surge in Jackson County and on Dauphin Island and even in coastal Mobile County. On Mobile Bay, we could see surge 4 to 6 feet. Coastal Baldwin County, 3 to 5 feet. 2 to 4 feet from Pensacola over to Navarre, and 1 to 3 feet a possibility in Okaloosa County. The central and western half of our area is included in a flash flood watch. 3 to 6 inches of rain is going to be the safest bet, but isolated locations could pick up around 8 inches of rain, if not a little bit more than that. The farther east you are, those rain totals will drop off. There's a chance that some areas in northwest Florida might not even pick up an inch, but all of this is going to be highly dependent on the rain band setup. So if you see a rain band over your neighborhood, those rainfall totals could obviously be much higher than you saw there on your screen. So as we go throughout this morning, it is going to be breezy, but until we get to this afternoon, we're really not going to see the chance for tropical storm force winds. But as we move into the afternoon, that's when the window for tropical storm force winds really begins. And then the bulk of the strongest winds will start to arrive this evening, and they'll continue to be in our neighborhood from around 9, 10, 11 o'clock. It's not going to be until around midnight that those wind gusts finally begin to subside, and then by first thing tomorrow morning, our winds go back down to below 30 miles per hour. Tomorrow's going to be breezy, but we're not going to be seeing tropical storm force winds. But with those winds and also with weak-rooted trees and susceptible power grids, especially after Sally, we could be talking about power outages. In the western half of our area, it's very likely that we're going to see some power outages. In the I-65 corridor, it's a likelihood. And then in northwest Florida, the east of Pensacola, it is definitely going to be a possibility. For today, this is for tomorrow, but for today, just keep in mind isolated tornadoes will be a possibility. We'll get that graphic sorted out for News 5 this morning. So important times you need to keep in mind. Have all of your storm preps completed by 4 p.m. today, and honestly, I might have to move that up to around 3 to 2 o'clock this afternoon. The most intense winds, rain, and surge, they'll be between 7 o'clock tonight through midnight. That's when you're going to want to be hunkered down, and the storm will race to the north during the early stages of tomorrow morning, and by daybreak, It looks like the majority, if not all of Zeta, will be completely gone from our area. As for this morning, for those of you heading out the door, keep the umbrella handy, especially if you have to be out this morning, as we are going to see showers move in, but we're not going to see the roughest of the weather move in until we get towards this afternoon. In downtown Mobile, 77 degrees. It's warm and muggy. You can feel the humidity. And for today, of course, it's a 100% chance for rain. And by this afternoon into this evening, we're going to start to feel the rougher impacts from Hurricane Zeta. So today, make sure that you're staying on top of the weather. Have multiple ways to get alerts, especially in the case you do lose some power. As we move into your Thursday, our skies will be clearing, just a slight chance of rain in the morning, but past tomorrow morning, the weather's going to turn fantastic, and we're looking at beautiful weather Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We'll have more details on Hurricane Zeta coming up on News 5 this morning in a handful of minutes.